So today we're going to go over Google Gemini and some of the mind-blowing features that it's just released over the last few months. More importantly, we're going to show you how to install it and how to use it. And we're going to go over some of the difference between the free and the paid version. So stay tuned and build along with us. So there's so much chatter going on about ChatGPT and its great kind of things that it's doing. And then more importantly, DeepSync's now hit the market and everybody's kind of going crazy over it. But I gotta be honest, don't sleep on Google. Google's been around for quite a bit of time when it comes to actually developing AI. They were doing it before anybody else was doing it. And I would say that Google is taking more of a factual approach with a lot of guardrails that makes the data that you get inside of Google, in my opinion, a little bit more reliable. Now, with every AI model that's out there, it is definitely going to be a little hallucinations here and there that are going to happen. But I would say when it comes to interpreting data and doing some of the research method, Google kind of has a little bit of a leg up. There's also a lot of companies in the medical side of the business that are really looking to invest in Google because it's going to be more for medical, more for education, and some of the other factors that they're designing their system to be. Now, without further ado, as you all know in this channel, we like to jump right in and kind of show you what it's all about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to a regular Google search and I'm going to type in Google Gemini. Now, something that I want to make sure you guys understand is that when you type in Google Gemini basically has a free and a paid version. Now, on the paid version, there is two differences because there is a paid version for your personal account and there is a paid version for your business account. For all of us that have business accounts through Google Workspace, the variation in that Google Gemini tends to be a little bit different, and believe it or not, doesn't have as many features, and I'm going to show you the difference. But first, I'm going to log in using my personal account. I'm actually going to log in one of my free accounts just to show you the basic version that you can get and kind of go over the models and what it does. Now, just like other AI models, there's very specific use cases and things you can do inside these models. And today what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the free version so you fully understand. So first, I'm going to log into an old free email account that I have. And when I go in, I'm going to go over to the left-hand side after I did my Google Gemini search. When I click in here and click on Google Gemini, I do not have the paid version. And you're going to notice that up here, it automatically switched to my paid version, but I'm going to switch back down to one of my free accounts. And as you can see, I have this kind of screen in front of me. So let me go over a couple things on here just so you fully understand. When you come over to the left-hand side, you're going to notice this. This is basically the models that are available for you in your free usage. Now, I got to be honest, these are some of the newer models that have recently come out that are free to use at this moment in time. And Flash thinking with experimental, best for multi-step reasoning, and Flash thinking with experimental with apps all have different functions. And I want to show you what each one of them is. Now, your everyday help that you're going to have in Flash, let's just kind of start there. I'm going to come in. I have it already automatically in here. And you're going to notice that I either have a menu that I can have in here or I have a new chat that I've selected. We're not going to go over these just yet because I kind of want to show you the working model in here. Now, the cool thing about, I would say, Gemini that has the advantage is if you're a heavy Google user, you're using YouTube, you're using Google Docs, you're using any kind of the Google features that are out there, if you hit the @ symbol, you're going to notice that all these things come up. Now, what this allows you to do is have a direct connection to Google Gemini apps that allow you to basically take advantage of it. So for instance, if I wanted to come in here and search for flights to Portugal, April, look for the lowest price and the best times to fly. All right. Now, what's great about Flash is that it comes in here and you can see, here's some options that it gives you, and it definitely tells you what it's going to be, how long it's going to take, and so forth and so on. Now, some of these flights are actually pretty reasonable, and it's saying April 3rd to April 9th. The price is $503. The flight duration, 6 hours and 45 minutes, which is amazing. And, again, it already found out where I lived and calculated and where the trips were, which I think is pretty darn amazing. Now, what's wild about this is it keeps going to different parts and it gives me different choices, and it already creates the links that I literally can go in here and basically go find the Google flight that's available, and then I'm kind of ready, set to go. Hey, we want to interrupt this video for a quick little minute to just let you know that I hope you're enjoying this video. We want to thank you for being here, but more importantly, we are hoping that this content helps you do whatever you're trying to do inside a high level. We also want to let you know that you have options to get additional help. We offer a $197 a month VIP coaching program that includes 4 days of office hours, first come, first serve with Andy or myself, where we go in and we answer any of your questions that you might have live with the group setting for other people that are also working in high level. We also have a VIP group where we answer questions directly one-on-one with anybody posting in that group to give you the absolute best support. It also comes with a bunch of other features, including our funnel brick system, our little mini course, and more importantly, a couple guides that'll help you through this, and also including our SOP library that we use for pretty much everything inside of our agency. So thank you for this quick little minute, but more importantly, go back to the video, get whatever you need, and if you have any questions that we can answer inside the video, just drop a comment on the video and we'll make sure to answer whenever we get a chance. And now back to the show. Now, what's wild about that is if I wanted to do a little bit more, I can come over here with the @ symbol again, put in YouTube, and just say something like, please look for the best videos on things to do in Lisbon, Portugal. And what I'll do is it's going to seek out YouTube because I've selected YouTube, and then it's going to actually go and search those particular YouTube things. Don't know about you, but the convenience of this is pretty darn cool, right? So it's going in there, it's creating all this. And then if I really wanted to do something cool, I can say, based on this information, knowing that I will be traveling the week of April 3rd, please create 5-day detailed itinerary for my trip. Look at that. And it kind of talks about everything that we have here. It even gives me some price tags of what the local taxis will be, how much is involved, and everything else. And now I can go back in here and I can add some different things to do. And it even gives me some food recommendation, which I think is pretty awesome. And then different transports, important notes, all this other stuff that's pretty cool. Now, with this free version, you can also create images. So I say, create an image of a cat, all right? And again, it has image creating ability using Imagen 3, which is their version of an image creator. And we're going to see how good it is as it kind of comes through. Now, again, each one has very advanced versions of it. Oh, wow, that's pretty darn good. No weird pause. Eyes look on point. There's even a mirrored background and the background's blurred. I got to be honest, that's pretty darn good. Can I just say black cat? Can you make this a black cat? Just kind of curious how far we'll go. Now, again, image complexity and all that, we're not going to get into. I'm just showing you practical examples to do that and why this is so freaking cool. And then we're going to move into the paid version and everything else. Wow, that's pretty darn good. I got to be honest, that is really, really good. I even gave it a little white little spot with a blurred background. Again, incredible level of detail here. But again, this could be something crazy that you can leverage. And again, this is AI generated, but it makes it really, really cool as we can go through here. Now, when it comes to the other things like your flashing when thinking experimentally, right? Now, there are kind of some reasoning tests that you can give it to basically test it. So you can give it something like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, which is one of the random tests that everybody does. And what it shows is it starts linking of like how it's reasoning through the question itself. So, and what it'll do is at the end, it's going to come in here and it's going to give you the answer. So therefore, to summarize, eggs are a biological concept existed long before chickens. The specific chicken egg containing the chicken embryo typically came first, laid by the bird that was generally not a chicken. Pretty cool answer. And it reasoned it in here. Now, I'm not going to go again comparing this to like other reasoning models that are out there, but again, pretty substantial, does a pretty good job of it, right? Now, in here, you come over to your with apps. Now, this is experimental with apps. And again, this is what I mentioned before. It will do the research based on information it finds. So for instance, I did the itinerary search for Lisbon. I could say something along the lines, please look at the latest videos of Google Gemini and give me some great latest. I want to put YouTube videos because I want to make sure it searches it based on the last month. And I'm obviously a horrible speller by now. All right, so we're going to go in there. And again, it's showing the thinking and what it's doing. And again, this is just on the free version, folks. So we're not really going deep into like, again, the paid version of this and all the really cool things you can do in the connected apps. But again, look at all this other stuff. It's going to go through some of the creative videos that are on here, and it gives it right here. So based on YouTube videos published last month, here are some use cases. Gemini can be used for deep research by providing operator prompts. This suggests advanced prompting techniques and in-depth information and retrieval. And then video title suggests various implications, blah, blah, blah. Please note that the publication dates are close to within the last month, providing recent perspective on Google Gemini's, and it gives you the actual videos in here. Now, what's wild about this is that, remember, in certain AI models, it's very limited to the knowledge that was fed before. It doesn't really have search capabilities. Here, it's adding some intensity to some of that. Now, I know that for a fact with the experimental version, it only has access to a few apps, especially in the free version. So understand that there's obviously going to be some limitations to that, right? Now, let's go on a little bit further. You also have the ability of using your voice to basically create a command. So if I can come in here, please create some use cases to use Google Gemini. Give me a list, and I go ahead and enter. Enhance creative content. Gemini can assist in generating various forms of creative content, such as writing scripts, composing music. That's interesting. I didn't know about that one. Gemini's advanced reasoning capabilities make it suitable for tackling complex tasks, from analyzing scientific data and all that, personalized education and tutoring. Google can be used to personalize learning experience by understanding individuals' learning styles, knowledge gaps. It can tailor educational content. I've been teaching myself Python using Gemini, just to give you an example. Effective information retrieval and summarization, which you just saw before, and improve accessibility and communication. Now, what's wild about all this is that you can download Gemini to your actual phone. And if you come in here and you go right here to Google Gemini, it has voice. It has the ability of sending an image. And again, you can't see the screen per instance, but it does make it readily available to do that. Now, again, I've upgraded to the paid version just because I do really like this tool and I think it is very comparable to some of the ones out there. And as I'm toying with all the AI, I just want to make sure that I'm learning all the models so I can fully understand their capabilities and what they're better for. I use Google Gemini quite often. Anytime I have to use this with anything in conjunction with like a Google Doc or a Google Sheet, YouTube videos, Gmail, anything else, because you're going to see some of the power that this thing has based on that. So the next thing I want to do is, based on everything that you saw so far, we went over the 3 different models. And by the way, the 1.5 is a previous model, but it's already advanced to that. And there's always the ability to upgrade to advanced, which is always going to have the better model, and it's always going to be a little bit faster. It's the same thing with ChatGPT and their operators, and it's going to be the same thing with Claude when you have the paid version. You're just going to have access to faster and better models that can do more. Now, I got to tell you, the free version will get you very, very far in Google Gemini. There's just going to be some copying, pasting, some limitations that you might have, but nothing that's going to kind of like prevent you from using this tool and really getting the most out of it. Now, if I go over here, let me just kind of go over some of the other things over here. Gem Manager is basically where you want to create a very specific AI assistant that is going to basically do certain things for you. Like for instance, I've created a Python bot that is teaching me Python. I can create one that's just going to be basically one creating or doing research when I do presentations and so forth and so on. Now, the Gem Manager is only on really a paid version. So you can come in here and it can tell you some of the ones that you have. So if I wanted a coding partner, I can basically have here, check my coding homework, help me update to my coding things. And these are some of the ones that we have. And again, using Gems, try Gemini Advanced. It won't give me the access for. Any kind of help that you could see, and again, it starts labeling all the recent things that you've recently done. But if it's going to be one that you're going to always leverage or use because you want it to like kind of understand and know you and have a little bit of memory, change the 3 little dots, rename it to like, let's say, use cases, rename the other one to your coding help. When you do that, even with your ChatGPTs and other software, it just makes it easy. And the more you start working with the bot, it starts knowing your style and the questions you're asking. Believe it or not, the bots do get smarter. And that's kind of like the mentality I want you to have whenever you use any kind of AI anywhere. And then settings in here, what's really important about this thing is understanding that the extensions allow you to do more. Where as they're coming up with more and more, I've turned all these on, but you can see it accesses when you have a professional Google Workspace account, you have to have the paid version. It will access all these things to an extent, right? And then you have your Google Flights, your Google Hotels, Google Maps, YouTube Music. And again, OpenStax is mostly from textbooks and everything else. Haven't really got into that because I haven't seen the use yet, but I'm not understanding what OpenStax is and what it can do. The next thing is you have your settings in here. You have a dark theme and you have that. And the 9 little dots up on here is basically if you have other things inside your Google account that you can access. Right as of now, again, the professional workspace is what you need to connect the apps. But if you don't, that's your next best bet. And then you have your name here so you can do different things, right? Now, what I'll do is I'm going to go to the paid version of the non-professional workspace, which is just going to be very good Google Advanced. Now, you're going to notice here that I do have access to gems and I can create my own gems if I'd like. So for instance, I already have some here. It already has like a couple of these in here, learning coach, writing editor, and I can create a new gem if I'd like, where it's something along of Python tutor. All right. And I can come here and I can just give it simple instructions where it's, you are a Python tutor teaching people how to write Python starting from beginner to expert. All right, so I'm going to come over here. Now, what I did is I went in here and I gave it a little bit better instructions by just literally allowing Gemini to write the instructions to basically have in here. And more importantly, now that this is all said and done, I can actually add references or guides, and I can add anything in a code folder, files, and the code folder is basically anything that I want to drive into that can keep it directly in here. Now, if I save the gem, and it'll probably help if I spell Python the right way. All right, there you go. And I can start by messing around with here. I am new. What's my first step? All right, and it will generate whatever it needs to do, give me some instructions, and good to go. Great for like if you have kids and you want them to do, pretty awesome. But I got to be honest, when I do coding and I want to check my code to make sure I did it right, or I just want to format it the right way, I will drop it into one of these AIs. And it just makes it a whole lot better. For anybody that has any experience in coding, it can be very challenging, and this does provide it. Now, again, so now, as you can see, it shows up in here. But if I wanted to understand chess, let's play chess, and it says start with e4. So if you know the chessboard particularly, these are different parts in here. And look at this. Isn't this cool? It automatically does it. And if I decide to move, I would say my first move is going to be like, I don't know, like we'll say like F6 or F5. I'm obviously not a chess player in that sense, so you get the idea, right? Now, the cool thing about this is you have access again to more models because you have access to 2.0 Pro, best for complex tasks. This is again the model that you would normally not have if you were in the free version, right? And what's great about this is it is faster, it is better. Again, it just gives you more access to that. Now, as before, it has the extensions as mentioned. So if you go to your extensions, you're going to notice that they're all here. It's the same extensions, except that you might have access, but we're actually going to go with experimental with YouTube Maps and Search. Again, I don't think this has the capability of attaching to the apps, but we're going to try it right now. So we're going to say search YouTube and find 10 use cases for Google Gemini 2.0. All right. And it will automatically do some deep research. Notice that the speed of this is much faster. It showed up a lot more and it used a lot more videos. And there you go. And it gives me automated various tasks. It goes through the entire thing again. And here you go. Now, the other thing about this is if I wanted to again write, because I don't have a Google professional account, see, I can't link it in here, but I could give myself a Google task on that calendar that says create a task for Monday to review these videos. And what's going to happen is it's going to go in there. It's going to create my reminder. And if I go in here and I want to see the task, I click on it and you'll see on a Monday task, it's already in my tasks. And if I go to my calendar, right here, should have put it in here, but I think it's in task still. Yeah, review these tasks and it says tomorrow. So it creates a task available for me and it should create it today too. But again, it might be limited on what it could do. When you have Google, you have a Google Workspace account that can only really be associated with like an actual professional email address, like a domain address, like nuno@nuno.com. And when you do that, you have full access to the Google Suite at the highest level. And I believe that's when you can connect. So we'll try some of that just so you understand that. And if I go to the calendar, which we were in before, see, it doesn't necessarily write because it doesn't have the ability to do so. Just again, showing you some limitations of what's there now. All right, so that's a little bit of a difference. But what I'm going to really do here now, which is where I think the majority of the magic is when you use it with a professional email address. So the difference here, when you actually go to the paid version of Google Workspace account, is that I'll have access to my drive and folders. So I could say something like along the lines of, please search any emails from high level. All right. And what it'll do is it connects to my Google Workspace and it's going to start listing for probably the most recent emails from high level itself to that business email address. Again, future landscape of this is it will write the emails for you. It's going to go in there. But then I'm also going to show you that if you click on your now Google Workspace settings, you're going to see that Gemini is already an available assistant. So while this is searching my emails, let me show you what I mean. So if I come in here and I put .new, notice what immediately comes up on the right-hand side. You're going to notice that I have Gemini right here and there. And I said, what can Gemini do? I ask it a question and it's going to start telling me what I need to do. Now, it can create a document directly in here and it can say, help me create one of these. Planning a document launch for a new Starbucks matcha roadmap to whatever it is. So all I have to do is type to include the content from your files, describe the document I want to create. I want to create a handout for people that want to use Google Gemini. And in there, I want to create 10 use cases anyone can do. And I'm just going to say create. Let it kind of do its own thing and see what it can do. Now, I might have to provide it like a knowledge base that it can do, but using some of the deep research method that I showed you, what you would do is you would take that, you would copy and paste it into a doc. You would have the @ symbol to call that doc, and then it would write a pretty elaborate doc. Now we're going to let this thing go. So look how cool that was. It automatically came in there and it wrote the actual doc. It gave me a presentation and everything in the back. So understand that now having this in here is pretty awesome. But guess what? It's not only in there, it's actually, if you go to your Gmail, all right, and let's log into our Gmail account right here. You're going to also notice that Gemini now lives in here. So if I come in here and I say, what can Gemini do in Gmail? Hit enter, and it gives you all the use cases that you can do in here. It can write an email for you, can respond to an email. You can use the @ to type in references to other materials. So summarize an email thread. Gemini can read through the email, suggest, but let's just kind of do one, right? So if I come in here, and again, you're going to notice that I could just come in here and see it already has it. Where I think I can call it here, but I can actually just help me write Alt H, please write a letter to my wife telling her how much I love her. Make it romantic. I have no idea. This might be very disastrous, but we'll see. Her name is Megan. All right, we'll see how it does. Dearest Megan, working on it. So as you can see, yours forever, Nuno. It knew my name. It wrote the name mail out. And now I could just basically come in here, redefine it, formalize it, shorten it, recreate the whole thing again, make it longer, and then whatever I needed to do. Now it tells you everything here, summarize an email thread, like we mentioned, suggest responses to email threads. So if I come in here and I don't know, let's just pick one. Yeah, like perfect. All right, discard suggestion. And I come in here and I can basically hit reply. And again, Alt H. So it gives me the thing right here. And I say, create a response and let them know I will be attending. All right. And it's going to do exactly that. It's going to say, thank you. I was live in Dubai. I was really disappointed in Miss Dallas event, but I'm excited. Honestly, this is perfect. So I can immediately already be in here and do the same exact thing. So that's how wild this is. And they're going to keep on adding to different things. Now we're going to just try our drive folder to see if there's anything in here that we can leverage, but I believe you have it in here also. So pretty much anytime you want to do that, based on the files in my drive, learn about the file, summarize the topic, you can come in here, what kind of things it can do. And now it's going to go in there. And again, this is the alpha version of it because they're trying to figure out different ways that you connect it. So basically every single Google app, even including all the way to Google Sheets, now has a component AI already blended into it. Now, the capabilities of this right now, it is in its alpha stage, so in its infancy. When this thing grows into a more powerful kind of event, this is going to be pretty nuts as it goes through. So I'm going to create a blank sheet and I'm going to show you how it's already also living in here because help me create a table. Anytime you see this little diamond, this is basically everything that you could possibly imagine. You want to create a table that does certain things, it will actually do that. So one, it'll help you create the table. Two, it will do certain headers and content so you no longer have to do it. You can build charts and graphs, summarize your files, put everything inside of in here, and it's going to grow and grow more as you see fit. Now, the craziest part of where this is going is that, see, it talks about my recent emails, different things into all of this, which is pretty darn cool. And eventually you're going to be able to create docs and do everything in here. So eventually these two are going to marry where you're inside of your Google Workspace or your Sheets or whatever else, and you're going to have the ability to do that. But even here now, I can come over here and I could say something along the lines of the enter prompt here, which is like create a table to plan for my child's birthday party. All right, I'm just going to leave it like that. Let it do its own thing and see what it comes up with. So it's thinking, it's rationalizing, but you got to remember it's in the actual expert app that it needs to be in. And there's a lot of really cool things that are coming in. Again, you don't want to be sleeping on Google because it's advancing at a whole entire different level because it already has connected apps that can do a lot of the things. So as we move into the world of agents in like of 2025 and beyond, in my opinion, already have the leg up because they're already connected to a lot of things that can do your day-to-day tasks, like writing your emails, like creating documents for you to put in your drive, to analyzing YouTube videos and learning lessons. They have tutors. They have all these different things. They have a lot of things that's going to make Gemini a pretty big competitor. And remember, you can do a lot of this directly on your phone, which is going to make it even better. And as you can see, look, it created a beautiful little table for me. Now I can go out and plan my kid's birthday if I wanted to do it in a table format. But again, imagine the business implications on this and everything that it can do. But again, toy with this, play around with this. Don't sleep on Gemini. A lot you can do in the free version, even more that you can do in the paid business version as you see fit here. And remember, the craziest part about all this is it's still in an alpha stage and it still has a lot of time to grow. So hope you enjoyed this video. Check out Gemini and we'll see you on the next one.